I got one bank of furnaces mounted on 3/4 inch plywood, and this here is the high line. And the high line brings helps bring the raw materials, the iron ore, the limestone, and the coke to the blast furnaces. So these are 1x4s that I ripped down to a 1x3 because I didn't want it that high. And so this would be the down here that would be approximately 32 feet tall. And then the total here, it's looks like about 6¼ inches, which means it'll be about 50 feet wide. And this is approximately well, it's 4 7/8. Or about 39 feet wide in between. So I will be going to the store, that is the hardware store, and I'll probably end up flipping this over so that the tree knots don't show up, hopefully. And this is 7 feet long. And so the tracks will be laid. There'll be members going across here, which I will make, excuse me, out of these. So that'll fit in here like that every so often, and then the rails will fit up on top of here. So that's what I'll be doing today. Okay, now I use a nice latex paint, gray, to represent cement. And then I'll come back and I'll weather this. And the nice thing about latex paint is that it's water based, and it dries relatively quick, even though it's rather cool out here. Slit right there, and that'll allow me to wrap this around the furnace right there. Okay, now you see I've put the roof back on, and these things don't have to be perfect on there, because in a real blast furnace division, quite frequently the roof does not touch the blast furnace, because there are ladders and things that go up there and to access the upper part of it. And now you can see where I weathered the concrete that represents the high line, and as soon as that is dried sufficiently, I'll put some cross pieces through there, and then on one end up here will be the stock house where all the materials is kept. Alright, now here you see the blast furnace division right over here, and this is the high line, and I will keep making some videos to show you how I attempt to make a representation of it. This is a representation of a steel mill. It's not an exact carbon copy, but this is what you can do with inexpensive recycled materials, and it is fairly accurate. At least that's what they tell me. Today I'm going to make the cross beams that the rails for the high line Larry cars will sit on, and I ripped these out of that 2x6. So you can save yourself a lot of money. And the first thing that you do is you spray paint it with black. So I'm going to do that right now. And when you're dealing with wood, a lot of times the wood is very porous, and it'll allow you to get away with some things that you wouldn't otherwise. And now you take the brown color, and this is called Hope you can read that. Let's try it again. Ruddy brown primer. And it's reward metal or more. And it comes out with a really realistic iron coating color that steel mills frequently have, and then you just dust that right along here, just like that. So basically what you're doing, you're using the black paint as a primer, and these over here are some of the ones that I have already done, and you can see how realistic the color is. Okay, hopefully I haven't panned too fast. Okay, now you see the cross beams that I've started to put in, and then the rails will go, it won't be this big, but it'll go across like that. Okay, and then I use this here as a jig to get everything spaced the way it should be. Alright, now I got all the cross beams over here, and to get you some idea what's actually going to go on here, this would be, let's say this is a rail, and let's say this is a rail. Okay, so this is a rail and this is a rail, and that's what the car will ride up on. Okay, so there's going to be two high-line Larry cars. One will run on this track to this bank of furnaces over here, and the other one will run right along here. And then right along here I'll attempt to put some kind of a safety rail along there. Okay, so now the thing of it is, with this glue here, you got to be very careful because you have 15 minutes to make any adjustment with this glue. This is Loctite Power Grab. You can get it at Menards, any other place, and it's really nice because it holds it in place, and then after 15 minutes you got to cut it off with a knife if you make a mistake. So we're going to let this dry, and I'll take and do some touch-up. I'll just take and put this in the sun. Okay, there's one other thing I didn't tell you. You see, you're only going to see three sides. You're going to see this side, and this side, but you won't see the bottom side. So you don't need to paint the bottom side unless you're really fussy about it. Okay, hope I didn't pan too fast. So next we'll make the cast house. Well, I goofed up. I'm sorry about my mix-up in terminology. Actually, it's a stock house, and that'll go right on this end over here. That's where all the materials get stored for the Larry car. It's sort of like the charging Larry car on the coke ovens. Okay, so I'm going to take and spray paint this and do a little bit of weathering. Okay, now I get the weathering along here and the painting. This used to be cement, but over the period of years, iron oxide and other dust and stuff have come along here, and I painted this originally black, as you can see. But if you get a little reddish on there, so what? You know, you're going to get it on there anyway. So that'll take care of that till I get the stock house, and we'll put the rails on there, and then after that will come the high-line Larry cars. Okay.